Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is Fantastic Reviews. Hi, everybody. This,
I'm keeping that. I'm keeping that.
this is
my life.
Reviews. And we are beatboxing some dubstep for you tonight.
That's the kind of quality entertainment people get when they subscribe to our channel.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right. I'm subscribing right now.
Welcome to episode 4. This is our pre-Fan Expo Canada convention special.
Woo!
I'm Joe. I will be your host. Joining me, as always, is the Joker to my Harley Quinn. Jenna.
That is an accurate statement, and I apologize.
And the Riddler to my Two-Face, Marcel.
Why do you have two faces?
I don't know. It sounded good. Sounded good in my head.
I like it. I like it. Now we know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Fan Expo, man.
Fan Expo, Jen and I go to a bunch of conventions every year. You know, we kind of pick and choose. We don't go to every single one of them, but we're in a good position because we're in Northeast Ohio. So we have the option to go anywhere from Cleveland to Pittsburgh to New York, Philly. And the one thing that we do usually hit up every year is Fan Expo Canada in Toronto. And we really do enjoy going up to Toronto. So far, this is what, 3-4 years in a row?
I think this is 4.
Is it?
Yeah, I think this is the fourth year we've gone. This will be the only time we've ever gone by ourselves, with just the two of us, and not a whole little squad of people.
Yeah.
Let's call a spade, and the only reason why you guys come up here every single year is because you really like Tim Hortons.
He likes Tim Hortons.
I do have a little bit of a Tim Hortons obsession.
You know, you and I would say 98% of all Canadians as well. What is it about Tim Hortons that you really love, Joe?
You know, it's their coffee. It's something about the coffee.
It's definitely the coffee.
Okay.
I've known people who will go to great lengths to go to Tim Hortons to get coffee. I do every single morning. Oh, I mean, I'll tell you the truth. I like McDonald's coffee a little bit more. It's a little bit richer, but all the McDonald's around here also take 15 minutes, like actually, I'm not even joking, that's not even figured, actually 15 minutes to go through the drive-thru in the morning.
Wow.
And they put up this new, I don't know if you guys have them where you are, but there's two like boxes, speaker boxes that you speak into and order your shit.
Yeah.
And then it bottlenecks down to one line where you go, see, you get lots of orders and not a lot of people fulfilling orders, and it's just one big backup mess.
I never understood the logic behind that, because it's like, yeah, you can take orders faster, but you're filling them no faster than you were before. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. I could probably see sense. Maybe it was a case of you're more likely to get out of line and leave if you're sitting in line waiting to get to order, but you're not going to leave after you've ordered, usually. So that restricts the long lineup coming out of the. I don't actually know, but that's my guess. But anyways, Tim Hortons has worked out like a system. It's very rarely do I have to actually sit and wait in the Tim Hortons line any longer than like 2 or 3 minutes. Maybe it's because mostly people are just getting coffee. I don't know, but they have a system, man. They were actually the last. It seems like the last place in Canada to start accepting debit. They only started accepting debit within the last 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, and that's not just the drive-thru. That's anywhere in the store. So if you want to get Tim Hortons, you have to pay with cash.
Huh.
Yeah.
I would never be able to get Tim Hortons then, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah,
I never carry cash. It's a terrible, terrible habit.
I
hate
don't.
cash.
I don't carry cash. We can't get to units and future money if you keep carrying cash.
Yeah, people stop carrying cash.
Yeah.
Don't carry cash like the peasants.
Yeah.
Anyways, there is something about the coffee. I don't know what it is. I do know that part of it could be the cream. They use an 18% creamer. where most places will only use like a 10. So that could be it. I don't actually know. But
How did we get onto a tangent about Tim Hortons coffee?
you guys, you people
people.
down there in
You
those United States of America are coming up here to this Canada to go to an expo, a convention, if you will, in Toronto, the capital of Ontario and the largest city in Canada, to be giant nerds, and that's okay, and that's cool. But the thing is, what is more Canadian than Tim Hortons? I challenge you, and that's the thing. When we tried recording,
Drinking Tim Hortons while you play hockey.
that happens. That happens. But they have maple ice caps now. So
Maple ice cap.
What is an ice cap?
an iced cappuccino. You've been to Tim Hortons. You don't know what an ice cap is.
We call it a cappuccino.
No. It's a slushy with coffee, and it's sweet and delightful.
I understand that Tim Hortons, they have their own like ordering lingo. I don't go often enough to know it.
Oh, okay. What do you typically get?
There's no Tim Hortons around us whatsoever. So the only time we get it is when we go to Canada.
Okay. What do you order in your coffee?
I usually just get milk and sugar.
Like a milk, one milk, one sugar?
Like one milk, two sugar. Yeah.
Okay. One milk, two sugar. One milk, one sugar is a regular. Two milk, two sugar is a double. One milk, two sugar is fucking weird.
I remember hearing the double term. I remember that, but that's the only one that I knew.
Yeah. You know what? One day we're going to do an episode on how to be Canadian. I'm going to teach you so that way you don't embarrass yourself. When you come up here.
That'll be fun.
We'll teach you how to be American. So first thing you'll need is a gun.
You know what? I've got like a Nerf gun around here somewhere.
That's not good enough.
I need to be able to maim someone.
First you have to get a gun, and then you have to sell guns to children, and then you'll be American. And there you go.
What about the drugs? That's got to be something.
Oh yeah, you do have to empty out your bank account paying for a hospital visit at least once.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Yeah.
None of us enjoy that.
You know
No.
what I enjoy? Going to the hospital and paying nothing. But the problem here, let me tell you the trade-off, because I get that hospital visits and medical care in the States is expensive. I do understand that Obamacare has done little leaps and bounds to overcome that, but in Canada, where we have universal health care, the idea of paying at the doctor's office for anything more than a note to tell your boss that you were gone is crazy to me. But here's the thing: when we go to the emergency room, can't think of a single time in the past, like my entire life, that we have spent any less than at least 5 hours in the waiting room.
That happens here too, depending on how severe your condition is.
Oh, we're talking about like losing a limb.
If you're actively bleeding and you lost a limb, they will send you in. But
yeah, unless you're in like cardiac arrest, you sit in there and you hold your arm in the other hand, not connected to your body, and you wait your goddamn turn. And here's the best part: you wait in the waiting room. You see the triage nurse first and say what's wrong, and then they say, okay, here, have a seat. You wait there for a couple hours. And then like, okay, come on back. And they make you feel really good about the fact that you're going back there, only to find out there's another fucking waiting room back there.
Oh my god.
And that waiting room is even more depressing because it's a smaller, more elite waiting room. And you can see the hospital bed, so you know the care you don't have yet. Then eventually you get called into the actual little I don't know what to call it, a pod. It's really like a bed that has like a curtain around it. And then you wait for another hour to 2 hours on the bed, in the gown where they make you take all your clothes off for a headache. And then the doctor comes in, takes one look at you and says, yeah, you definitely got a concussion. And yeah, don't bang your head at all. And that's there's a little more to it, but that happened. And yeah, that's universal healthcare. It's free and your lineups are crazy.
yeah, there's always a trade-off. But I would still rather take that than having to save up for years of going, okay, this year I'm going to break my leg. I have enough money to do that. Crap, I also fractured a wrist, and now I'm homeless.
So I have to ask you, because I actually have these questions.
Okay.
They don't expect payment up front for big costs, right?
Usually there's a copay. You have to go in, and depending on your
Now-
insurance, or if you have insurance or you don't have insurance, whatever, there's some kind of copay you got to pay on the spot.
Wow.
If you're like in an emergency room situation, they cannot refuse to see you if you have a life-threatening.
That is also true.
So,
Yeah.
so if you come in, if like you got shot somewhere, they will treat you and get you stable, and then they will take your insurance. And if you don't have any, they will kick you out.
Okay. Because I was going to say, how many people in the States have actually died because they couldn't afford to get treatment?
A lot.
Yeah, but that kind of death is more of a slow, painful death rather than like Jenna said, if you roll into a hospital shot, like they're going to take care of you and then send you on your way. The problem is that if you can't afford it, then you can't afford the aftercare, and that's what you're going to die from.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is that I don't have a lot of qualifications. I'm living paycheck to paycheck just to get by, and the cancer's going to kill me.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Damn.
Yeah.
Jeez, and you have Donald Trump. You guys need to move.
Capitalism. Woo!
Well, if you have some space on your couch,
I
see.
Will you sponsor us?
I always wondered what it took, and I know a couple people who actually immigrated to Canada from actually England, and it's a very interesting process. It's very different from the States. It works on like a point system where you gotta like meet criteria. There's like a big picture this like a big Bristol board with a checklist. And each item on the checklist are worth different amounts of points, and you have to have a certain amount of points to be allowed in.
Uh-huh.
And that's really it. You don't have to learn about the country's history or anything like that. But
So it's like the house points in Harry Potter, then.
yeah, I guess.
Oh my God,
Except
Canada's Hogwarts.
instead of you flew that broomstick over a hill, 10 points to Gryffindor, it's more like, oh, you're a doctor. Welcome to Canada.
Yeah. That's a good system. I mean, I'm sure there's problems with it, but there's problems with every system.
Yeah.
I must say, I
Probably.
do like your prime minister, though.
Mr. Trudeau?
Everyone
Yes.
likes your prime minister.
I have never talked to anyone outside of this country about Canadian politics, so that's kind of fun. I like that he's really good at photo bombing.
Yeah.
He's an attractive fella, I'm sure to most people. I like what he's doing. A lot of people don't because he's spending a lot of money. But I, as a liberal person, I do believe that spending money to make money makes sense. You have to
Yes.
fix these things and do these things, and eventually it'll all fall into place. But
Absolutely.
tell the conservatives that.
Well, we're trying to. It's not going well on our end.
Yeah.
Well, so now that we've discussed the differences between Canada and the United States and how to become a Canadian,
Very brief
conventions.
convention.
Conventions. Obviously, me and Jen have been to a bunch. Marcel, have you been to any conventions? I actually don't know
I've
the answer to
been
this question.
to one convention my whole life, and it was actually Fan Expo.
Really?
Yes.
Before it got popular.
I think it was either the first or the second year. It might have been the first year it came to Canada, because before that, the only convention I'd ever heard of was Anime North, which I've not been to. Ever since like the 8th grade, I've wanted to go every year, and I've come very close to getting to go a few years, but something always happens that I don't get to go.
Well, you are the social butterfly, so it's unsurprising.
Not that social. But yeah, life doesn't want me to go to Anime North, and at this point I'm not as big into anime as I was, and I don't really care as much for it.
Yeah. I feel like anime really isn't what it used to be.
Yeah.
I can't put my finger on it, but it's not the same as what it was, 10, 15 years ago.
Well, 10, 15 years ago, you were just discovering anime, so it was bright, new, and shiny.
But I feel like it was better. Like a lot of the anime that's out now is like, Demon High School fight,
I think
don't
it's
know.
exposure, right? So back then there wasn't nearly as much anime, and the anime that came out was the stuff that really sticks with you, like Digimon and Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z and that kind of stuff. And now there's a lot of really crappy anime, but there's some really good ones, like Attack on Titan is fantastic.
I keep hearing that. I have not
You
actually
have not,
watched it.
oh my god,
It was on Netflix or Hulu, one of them, I forget. and I
Netflix.
started to watch it, but it was subtitled. And I know this is like the cardinal sin of someone watching anime, but I do not like watching it when I
It's
have to
still
read it.
on Netflix, and you can actually switch the language settings on it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think you could before. And I actually, if I watch it with subtitles, I end up hating the English dub. So it's key to watch the English dub first. English dub is always kind of crappy, but
Yeah.
yeah, seriously, it's there and you're gonna love it, and it's amazing. And there's a new PS4 game that's coming out I think tomorrow. Actually, it looks really awesome.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, that's something else. It's something I'll have to look into. Are they still going forward with a live action Attack on Titan?
Oh, fucking probably.
As far as I know, they haven't canceled it. There's been no word for like a year.
It would be pretty cool. Watch the TV show before you watch the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Watch it tonight.
All right.
Have you watched Stranger Things yet?
No.
No, it's another one we keep hearing about. I mean, it's not anime, but it's another show we keep hearing about that we just have not had a chance to get into yet.
You know who I heard it from first? Was some Australian dudes on a podcast called The Weekly Planet, which they're not paying me to say that, but if anyone's listening, you really should go listen to them. They're so funny. They're like, was really great. I'm like, oh, okay. And I put it on my list of things to watch, but because it's something I actually want to actively watch, I haven't seen it yet. Because everything has been background noise while we've been getting ready for this convention, and also I've been severely sick and have not wanted to pay attention to anything.
Once you finally watch it, you're gonna kick yourself in the butt for not having got into it sooner. I know I did. I put it on one day just as...
I didn't even know it existed until like a week ago.
I saw it on there. I never watched it. My roommate had been watching it, and I was really hungover. And I just wanted I wanted to just play on my phone, lay on the couch, so I wanted to put something on as ambiance in the background, and I put it on and watched the entire series in that sitting.
Yep.
So there's that. Similar thing for Attack on Titan. So watch those things.
And speaking of anime, I think it was like a year or two ago now. My favorite anime of all time is Cowboy Bebop. Love it. I'm all about it.
I've seen the movie. I haven't watched the series.
Oh my god! It's good because there is an overarching story, but in between of the overarching story, there may be like 2 or 3 episodes where it's just like side stories that just happens to them while they're bounty hunting around, and it keeps it light and it keeps it moving, but the actual overarching story, which is mostly surrounding Spike, is just, oh my god, it's so well written, and it's so well, again, listening to the English dub is so well voice acted, and you get invested in these characters, and it's the story itself is just amazing, and it's about bounty hunters in space, which sign me up,
Yeah, it looks awesome, and I have every intention of actually watching it, and let's just put that on the list right now.
And it's funny because people or at least some people I talk to anyway, because we're in the same mindset, we still rave about it even though this anime is like 20 years old. 2 years ago, actually, at Fan Expo, I met Steve Bloom, who is the voice actor for Spike.
Main character.
He's the main character. He was the coolest guy, man, and he does so many voices all over the place. It was unbelievable. I did not realize this guy did voices in so many things. Even today, he's still voice acting on a lot of video games.
Yeah.
And because I remember maybe it was like a year or so ago, I was playing The Last of Us on the multiplayer, and I was like, holy shit, I'm like, one of these guys is definitely Steve Bloom, and sure enough, he's in the credits.
Oh yeah. There's like a very small group of voice actors that there's a big names in voice actors, and even on Disney movies where a lot of the credits go to actual celebrities.
Yeah.
These guys like Tara Strong and I can't remember other names, but they're all there. They're doing all like menial characters in these big Disney movies, but they're there. They're everywhere. They're big. It must be really hard to get into voice acting.
I would love to get into voice acting.
Me too. I would like to try it at least.
Oh, absolutely. I think it'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, Cowboy Bebop. I would certainly like to watch that. You know what's great is, and I know I've talked about this a lot, in this podcast, well, maybe this podcast, and I know I have in other podcasts, but I talk a lot about nostalgia and how this generation, our generation, I'm 31, so I'm going to say, what are we, Gen X, Gen Y?
I don't even know.
I don't know. You're both older than me.
This generation is built on nostalgia. We go apeshit for things from our childhood. Like, seriously, the biggest movies are based on things from our childhood, like Spider-Man and all the Marvel comic stuff, but also Ninja Turtles. We're talking about Transformers. Like, as soon as I heard there was going to be a Transformers movie, I almost peed my pants. That's why there's so many remakes out there right now, and they're doing so great. So nostalgia is really big for our generation, and the biggest clue to that is Pokemon Go.
Yup. Oh my God.
Pokemon Go got so huge so fast. And you know why? Because assholes like me and you and you and you and all of you people listening to this podcast are all belong to the same generation, and we love shit from our childhood. And here's the thing is that up until Pokemon Go came around, I still like Pokemon, and I've played every single game through since the dawning of Pokemon. I just don't talk about it. I mean, you don't talk about it, right?
You weren't proud of it.
Yeah, you don't really wear a Pokemon t-shirt. Maybe every now and then if you're being ironic, but it's like, wow, you still play Pokemon? But now, all of a sudden, Pokemon Go came out, and everybody loves it.
Yep.
And it just blew my mind. So I was in Halifax, which is a eastern Canada, Nova Scotia, and it's on the ocean, the Halifax Harbor. Huge history there. But anyways, on the boardwalk of the harbor, it's very touristy. There's stalls for food. You can do tours on the harbor, but there's this one spot where there's like 3 Pokestops all stuck together, and everybody goes there. Like, you walk into this it's almost like a square, and it is just littered with people sitting there on their phones, and I'm like, oh my God, look at all these Pokemon trainers. Yep. And you have your stereotypical nerds. There's neckbeards who live with their parents and don't bathe. There's the ones who can't grow beards who live with their parents and don't bathe, and you can tell those ones because they have the actual, like, the Ash Ketchum hat, and they're playing. But then you also have, like, there was this business guy. He was sitting there in his business suit. He has his briefcase, and he's like, well, I guess I should finally go home. He lived across the harbor. You take the ferry across the harbor to go to over to the other town called Dartmouth. I guess I should get back to Dartmouth before my ferry ticket expires. I'm like, wow, this is cool. You've got, like, what only looked like model girls sitting there playing it. And me and Christine, my girlfriend, were sitting there playing it one day. We were just killing some time, and we were eating, what were we eating? Maybe poutine or something. And one of our napkins started blowing away, and this guy, maybe in his mid-40s, salt and pepper hair, he was sitting there playing, and he just steps up and he grabs it. Here you go. And eventually he walks away. He's not playing it anymore. He just walks away. Turned out that was the freaking mayor. hanging out with the rest of us peasants on the thing there, playing Pokemon Go. It was awesome. It's super inspiring. And even more so, I love the fact that this thing that I really like and really enjoyed as when I was younger is making a comeback. Like, it was cool. You go to Hot Topic and you see, they have like a Pokemon backpack and a couple of t-shirts, and it's cool because it's from my childhood, but nobody really cares much about it anymore. And then all of a sudden, everybody has Pokemon t-shirts. Everybody's playing Pokemon, and it's awesome. And same thing goes to, not as big a scale, but Dragon Ball has come back with the new Dragon Ball Super, which I'm dying for it to come to North America. And you see Dragon Ball stuff everywhere. The movies have come out. That's super awesome. So exciting.
Yeah, it's you're absolutely right. I mean, it's a great time to have been in any one of these fandoms, or even to pick it up now. And what's amazing to see is that now it's bringing so many people together.
Oh yeah.
And because before it was just like, it's video games on your Game Boy and you play by yourself, but now, like, it's become a giant social phenomenon, the Pokemon Go, and bringing back all the stuff from our childhood. It's become it's become such a huge phenomenon. It's bringing people together, and it's a fantastic thing. It's wonderful.
It's amazing. I always thought that I always wanted to cosplay as Gohan from Dragon Ball Z, and
I can see you doing that.
I never have, and I've, the time sort of passed. Dragon Ball wasn't on anymore. It hasn't been on for a long time, and even like for Halloween and stuff, which is the only time I ever get to do any real cosplaying, and you know what? I could dress as Gohan, and no one's gonna care because it's past. But now, let me tell you. You're going to go, and you're going to see a ton of Dragon Ball people.
Oh, yeah. Well, even in the past few years before this stuff really started getting revived, when, Jenna and me started going to, a lot more conventions, I would see a Goku at least every day, at least one every day. I'd still see a Goku, different one, too. So, I mean, they're still out there. They're still out there, and it's I mean, even though they haven't really come out with anything new, it's still relevant.
Yeah.
It really is. It's amazing.
Yeah. Agreed. So tell me.
Yeah.
I need to know.
Uh-huh.
And I know you've got some questions and stuff lined up, but the reason you're excited for coming to this particular con.
Uh-huh.
What is it? Why are you excited to come? I mean, a convention's a convention. Conventions are everywhere, but why?
Because Batman is going to be there.
Kevin Conroy. Kevin Conroy, who has voiced Batman
for like 3 months.
For like the last 20, 25 years, is going to be there. Mark Hamill is also going to be there. Sunday, the very last thing that Fan Expo is doing on Sunday, and unfortunately we will not be able to make this, they are going to have a reading with Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill as Batman and the Joker.
I'm going to get to meet Kevin Conroy, and I'm so goddamn excited. I will give him all of my money to talk to me for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm so excited.
So that's huge. One of the other big things for me too that I'm really looking forward to is that it sounds like Ubisoft is going to be there again, and they're going to have a big exhibit. And I am dying to get my hands on Watch Dogs 2, and I'm hoping they have a playable demo there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend all my time stalking Kevin Conroy.
Yeah. And Watch Dogs 2 is already getting a lot of hate, I think, online, because they felt like players felt like Watch Dogs 1 was like, all right, cool, it's Assassin's Creed with hacking. Great, wonderful. But you know what, though? Like, I other people get bored with this stuff, but I love it. Even if it is repetitive missions and stuff like that, it's still an open world game, which I love. It's like modern day technology. It's quote unquote hacking, and I don't know. I love everything about the concept. Ever since they announced the first Watch Dogs at E3, I think it was 2013. I want to say.
Nice. I picked it up for like $15 at EB Games, and I didn't know anything about it. I really wasn't excited for it or anything, but I'm like, oh, Watch Dogs. I don't have any like shooting games right now, and for $15, how could I pass that up? So I picked it up, and it's pretty fun. It is very repetitive, and I haven't played through the whole thing. I actually stopped playing it for a while because it was too repetitive. But I'll pick it up eventually and get back into it. Maybe one day when I'm done playing No Man's Sky. But it's good, and you made a good point that it really is other games with hacking.
Yeah.
You said Assassin's Creed. I'm on the record for saying that this is no more than Grand Theft Auto with hacking.
Yeah.
It really is. But that's the thing, is people love those games, and to just sort of, if you love Grand Theft Auto, you're gonna love this game. There's no reason not to, because it's almost the same, except it's got this added element, so it's a new flair. So it sort of fills the void until the next one comes out, which is kind of cool.
And if you think about it, I mean, it really is it is almost a perfect marriage of Grand Theft Auto and Assassin's Creed. And I don't understand why, how you can enjoy playing Grand Theft Auto and not enjoy Watch Dogs, because it's the same kind of deal. You still have a narrative, you still have that first player campaign, but you're still set in an open world too. So it's like, yeah, you could do the campaign, you could do side quests, or you could just drive around, fuck shit up all day. Like,
yeah, if you told me that,
what you do.
If you told me that Watch Dogs was just DLC for Grand Theft Auto, I'd believe you.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Totally.
Awesome. So I really do want to know also that, what is it about conventions? So I mean, you mentioned that you're going to see you're going to see the celebs, which is great. You want to see the video game booth. What is that? Is that what really drives you to conventions, or is there more to it?
It's a really good question. It's actually one of my talking points for this podcast is what do you like to do when you go to conventions? And it sounded like Jenna was starting to chime in there.
Actually, we didn't really start going to see the celebrities until last year.
Oh, really?
We never really got involved with getting autographs for more than just like, oh, that's like Joe said, he went and he saw Steve Bloom. We would get little autographs like that if we saw people. And we would just go up and say, hey, and then give them money. And they would sign a thing, and talk to us for a few minutes. Other than that, we usually go for the comics, especially a lot of the little ones around us. Go for the comics and collectibles, and you just, you wander around, look at stuff. Go to the artist alley, which is a big thing at Fan Expo. Usually there's a whole section just for artists from pretty much anywhere that can go and then display their artwork or stuff that they have made and sell.
I know a couple of people who display there.
Yeah, and it's a really great way, especially for independent comics or web comics, to get their names out there too. And usually Artist Alley is where I like to go and hang and spend most of my time if I'm not going up to get an autograph or something. And I go down there and look at that. The bigger conventions too, sometimes they'll have interactive stuff you can do, not just the video games, but they'll have like the first year we went, they had food tasting. There was a Frank's Red Hot stand was there, and they were like, you can go and taste all their different flavors of Frank's Red Hot.
That was the best thing.
It was the best. And then they had like the Pepsi challenge was there, and you had to spin a thing, and which one was better, and it was Pepsi, and you get a thing to go get a burger somewhere. They took a lot of that away the second year. They didn't have as much interactive stuff, so there's not a whole lot more to see if you're not really into looking at the vendors who are selling stuff. But that being said, they brought in like stars. They'll have a booth sometimes, and you can see they'll preview snippets of their upcoming season of shows, or horror movies will come, like independent horror flicks or independent movies, stuff like that. They'll all get booths, and it's just a really neat conglomeration of things that you can go and see and experience with everybody else, which is great. This will be, I think, only the second year we've really gotten an autograph from anybody. Last year we did, and the year before we did, but it was mostly for your mom.
Yeah,
we got the picture with Nathan Fillion. And a big group of us went up. We got a picture with Nathan Fillion. That was the thing we did that day. That was the big thing. And then last year we got a couple. We got a couple autographs. He met Billy D. Williams.
Oh, nice.
Billy D. Williams.
Billy D. Williams. Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
To throw in there, I met Billy D. Williams. It was actually kind of sad because he's very much looking his age, but he was cool. He was cool to talk to. But I have this picture. It's like a still frame from Empire Strikes Back, where it's got Lando and Darth Vader and Boba Fett in the same shot. And I met Billy D. Williams at Fan Expo. I think that was last year. Pretty sure.
I think it was last year, yeah.
And earlier that year, I had met Jeremy Bullock, who was Boba Fett. Nice. And I have their signature on the same picture. So now the only thing missing is James Earl Jones. I need to meet James Earl Jones to complete that trio.
We'll have to go stalk him somewhere in LA.
Awkward.
He's big. He doesn't have to do conventions. Like, the big name people don't usually do them because they don't have to. They will occasionally, usually just as a surprise or they're there as part of a panel, but they don't go to do signings.
Yeah.
That being said, this last year we have seen a change because we were at a small convention in Cleveland called Wizard World, which is, I mean, it's a good sized convention and whatever.
Wizard World's a pretty big convention
Wizard
chain
World's
itself.
Yeah, Wizard World's a big chain, but their shows are relatively smaller compared to
Like Fan Expo.
like a Fan Expo or a New York Comic Con.
Yeah, they're middle. I would say they're like a mid-sized convention. There's some that are very small. They take up one room. They could fit in our living room right here.
But I think the reason why they are smaller is because they have they put on like a dozen a year in a dozen different cities.
Yeah. So, but last year or earlier this year, they had Chris Hemsworth and a couple other of the Avengers at Cleveland. It was very surprising to see that they were there. Now, we didn't go get autographs because we're not going to spend that much money.
Not that into them.
There was a thing, but there wasn't like a package where it's like, here's $200, you can meet everybody. Awesome, but no, not spending like $1,000 to meet Chris Hemsworth. But it's funny because you don't get big names like that at conventions like this. Maybe it's something like Comic-Con in San Diego or New York or Fan Expo, but again, usually it's just them doing a panel, which we've really never done panels before. It's not been something that's been interesting for us to do, but it's really great now to see that you can have a chance to actually meet all these people you see on the big screen. It's pretty cool.
It's, the panels
don't
are
much money on it, but still.
Panels, I'm sure, are interesting to go to if you're into that type of thing. I'm just not that into it because it's like, oh, you get an exclusive sneak preview of this or that trailer, and it's like, it's fun, but it's not really my kind of thing. And they do a lot of like celebrity Q&As, and I'm like, that's cool if you want to listen to them talk, but I'm not really interested because I don't have any cues that I want them to A.
Yeah.
So it's just, and that's it. A lot of people are into that sort of thing, and that's cool. You like going to that, no problem. Do your thing. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So, so from your one and only experience, Marcel, of going to a convention, what do you remember of it? What did you like about it? Would you go to another one? I think you've answered that already.
Yeah, I would love to go to another one. For me, the greatest part was buying things. It was buying the. I don't read a lot of comics per se. I love comics, but I don't really buy into them. T-shirts. I bought a T-shirt. I bought a Spider-Man hat, and I got this plushy Diddy Kong. That kind of stuff. I'm really big into having memorabilia. I didn't go to any of the signings. I didn't do any of their little workshops or anything like that. I think maybe if I went with more intention, I would try it again. So if I went with people who were con goers, quote unquote, I would love to do that. But for myself, if I were to go there by myself, I might walk up and down the halls, look for stuff to buy a couple things, and then leave. But I think that goes for anything. It's the people you go with, right? So
yeah.
I hate lines, so I can't say that I would line up to meet anyone. But different workshops and stuff would be cool. My mom actually has a production company that I do some artwork for every now and then, and they work primarily with puppets. And my mom's boyfriend Matt, they have this here's a plug. It's mattandvicproductions.com, and they have this production company where they do these puppets. And if you ever get a chance on YouTube, look up. I think is it Jet Ranger and Another Tomorrow or something. That's a show. They're starting to do some more stuff with that, but puppets. They often go to these cons. I think the big one they go to is the Comic-Con in Ottawa, and they'll go and they'll actually do different puppet workshops and that kind of thing. So I think it'd be cool to see that.
I hear the Ottawa and Vancouver shows are actually pretty big. I've never been, so
I think so. They usually do all the local cons. Like they do go to the Ottawa one. Usually, Fan Expo they go to. I think not this year. I don't think because my sister is having a baby in her showers this weekend. But they do. There's one in London, Ontario, like the London, Ontario Comic Con, which is fairly small. But they do go to them. They've gotten me art from the Ottawa one a couple times. I've got a couple cool things. So.
The artists that they get at these places, like there are some of them that are like, all right, yeah, I've seen that a million times, but yeah, every once in a while you find this gem that it's like, holy shit, like why are you sitting here? Like you should be like making something somewhere, making $1 million doing this.
A lot of people say that, and these people, I'm sure they're doing something, but for artists, unless you get hired by a company to do some sort of corporate work, it's really hard to do anything. I know I follow a couple artists who are doing their own comics and stuff, but really their biggest following is on Instagram. Too Long Didn't Read. It's artists don't typically do a lot of artwork professionally, and when they do, they don't get paid that much unless they're like on like a corporate payroll as like a graphic designer or something.
Right.
I follow there's some really great artists that I follow on like Instagram and stuff, and they're working on their own projects, but I mean these are Kickstarter projects. I don't think any like visual artist is making $1 million on anything.
Which is sad.
Yeah, it's true that they say the only famous artist is a dead one.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because there's a lot of talent out there that isn't going to good use or isn't going to use at all.
Yeah, like I said before, when you were cutting it out, it seems like it's a very, very heavily freelance type industry.
Yeah, freelance. If you're doing, it depends on the stuff that you do too, right? I mean, freelance. I know a couple artists who do a lot of like web design, and they've done like some websites and graphic design freelance work. But people say like me, who are cartoonists, that don't really do a whole lot. Or some people, I do know one person who got hired onto like a video game company to do art for that. But yeah, doing your own comics, like web comics, is not a lucrative business. Unless you're the Neo Tokyo guys. Whatever happened to them.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still around, but they got pretty big. And Penny Arcade, oh my god.
Penny Arcade is usually there.
They have their own convention.
Yep.
Is it the Penny Arcade Expo, I think, but they're huge. They've got to be like a company now, but yeah, typically you don't see a lot of that.
It's a shame. So, people, when you go to conventions, make sure you support your local artists.
In our podcast about Fan Expo, we have talked about Canada, politics
in Canada,
and in America.
Anime.
This is
nostalgia.
But this all ties into Fan Expo, man. This is a well-rounded podcast.
It's a well-rounded podcast.
This is a great discussion. I am honestly enjoying this. Not that I haven't enjoyed our other discussions, but this is this is absolutely top of the list here.
Yeah, I hope it's top of the list. We're at 54 minutes.
I know. I've noticed that. Okay, so let's move on to our last topic so we can wrap this thing up and put a little bow on it before we put it on the YouTubes. So I think it is the elephant in the room whenever you go to a convention, and that is cosplay.
Okay.
Jen and I do enjoy getting into the cosplay. We're not that serious about it, but we enjoy it. And you know what it is? It's like it's kind of cool when you do a costume and you do it right, and people want to hang out with you because they like your costume, and you get involved with like-minded people, and that's how people meet.
Does that actually happen?
Yeah, totally.
I'm so awkward around people I don't know. Like, I'm sure if I was hanging out with like you guys, it'd be okay. But if some random decided to be my friend on the spot because of what I was wearing, I would be really freaked out.
It's not. All right, maybe it's.
They're not going to hang out with you all day. They're just like, hey, you look cool. Can I take your picture? That's awesome. How did you make that? And then they move on.
Maybe it's too. Maybe I put it too simple. It's not like they're like, hey, all right, I'm your friend now. It's more like, hey, to take a picture. What did you do? How'd you like it? How'd you make it? What made you think of this? And then conversations go on and relationships form, and that's kind of like
Fair enough.
it's a very organic kind of thing. It's not just like you're my friend. It's not like
I have a friend who that's how we became friends. It was like, what was it? I think I had like a Legend of Zelda lanyard or something, and they had like a Cloud Strife Buster Sword keychain. And like, oh my god, you like Zelda? I like Zelda. Let's be friends. And then we were.
Hey, some friendships happen that way.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Listen, Link brings people together.
That's true.
It does. So, but it's a fun thing to do, and it is for me. It's kind of a thrill when people want to take pictures with me in costume, because it's like, wow, that means I feel like I definitely did this right. Like I'm feeling good at it. It's a great thing, and for me that's where it ends. But because of such the popularity that cosplay has gotten, there are now such a thing as cosplay celebrities.
Oh, I know.
What?
You know why that's a thing? Because of that TV show, man. What was it called? Heroes of Cosplay.
Right.
And
but I feel like that show came around because of what was going on in conventions.
maybe I guess mainstream understanding is because of that show. But I mean, anybody who knows anything about any con at all knows who Yaya Han is. And I've only been to one convention.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, anyways, go on.
And this would be a question for both of you, because I have my own thoughts on it, we can go into that. But a question for both of you, whoever wants to pick it up first. What do you think of cosplay celebrities? Do you think it's a legit celebrity status?
Of course it is.
Yeah, for sure. I think that you can be celebrities. Like, celebrity status is just being known by a lot of people, right? The connotations that come with it, like, should a cosplay celebrity be entered into the same running in a cosplay contest as someone like, say, myself, who just learned how to control a sewing machine? No, I don't think they should. I mean, because clearly they.
Well, that's usually why they have like expert. I mean, for anything with kind of an artistic bent to it, don't they usually have like, there's the beginners. Here's some paint. You go do that by yourselves, and here the experts can go and do this side over there.
I think that competition
at least it should be that
separated
way.
into skill categories.
Yeah.
And your skill category is determined by the judges.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, I don't know a lot about it other than what I've seen on Heroes of Cosplay, where in a lot of them where they have to go through like a preliminary to be entered into the contest. I think that all of these contests need to have like a skill level adaptation for the actual contest itself. I mean, the show is great. Everyone wants to see it, like a perfectly done. What's his name? What is that guy's name from Diablo? Tyrael?
Oh, I don't know.
No idea.
I don't remember.
There's not really a lot of cosplay contests at conventions, though. I mean, there's usually like a masquerade or something. There's a costume contest at the end, like on a Saturday night, but I don't think you actually. But it's not. It's for everyone to join in with, and there's usually. I think they do. At least the few that I've seen, they usually do kind of separate it out a bit, like if into what your categories are. I don't think. If you're a celebrity cosplayer, you can join in on those contests with the regular people.
Okay.
Usually,
if you're a person at the convention, like have a booth, I don't think you can. Now, I could be very wrong.
I don't think they can either. Usually, they wind up becoming the judges.
Yeah, usually they're the people who are like hosting it or something.
Okay.
So at convention level, anyway, there's not a lot of contests going on. It's just what Joe's talking about is the last couple of years we've seen booths pop up because the cosplayer is there at the booth and people are paying them to take pictures and stuff with them. But they're not telling you how they created their costumes and how they got their cosplay going, which is usually what a lot of people started following them to do. They follow people to learn how to do these things, and then they get famous and they go to these conventions and they don't and then they're basically paying them to just take a picture with you.
I don't think that's necessarily wrong, but here's my thing. I think it's douchey. Just like any other celebrity out there. And you become a celebrity because you're known for something by a lot of people, right? And people actually want to take pictures with you. So if you're at a booth, charge for pictures, sure, whatever. And if you don't want to talk about, fine, you're a douchebag. You're a fucking ass nugget. That's what you are. But that's up to you as a, quote, celebrity. I don't think that if you're walking the floor and someone wants to be nice to you and ask you for a picture, I think that would be a douchey move to say no unless you're paying me.
I have not seen that happen. It's usually just at their booths.
Yeah.
They're just at their booths because usually you're at your booth. You can't leave your booth, really. You're there. You've paid money to have that booth.
You set up. Yeah, I guess if you set up there and you're not trying to trick anyone, you make it known that, I will take pictures with you for $30.
Yeah.
Fine. And you know what? If you pay that $30 to get a picture with a cosplayer, then it's your bad. You can't complain about it. You knew about it, and you wanted to take a picture with a cosplayer for $30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no problem with the cosplayers. I mean, the celebrity cosplayers. Everybody cosplays anymore. There's about 60% of the people who go cosplay anymore to their convention. Just regular people like Joe and I. We're just going. People are dressing up. They're having a good time. They made it themselves. They bought it at the store. Whatever. They got it commissioned by somebody else. We're all going there to have a great time.
Yeah.
And I judge nobody for that because I like to do it. It's fun. It's a good time. I'm right now, as we've been talking, I've been pinning my top for my outfit together, ready to go. And so once we get off this call, but the celebrity cosplayers, I also don't have a problem with because it's not bothering me. Yeah. It's just, it is taking up space. The one thing that was bothersome was because they were taking up space in the same section that they were doing the autographs for the celebrities at, and it was causing a big backup because they were giving us a small section, all like 5 booths were together, and it was right at the entrance, and then everyone who wanted to go see them and everyone who wanted to go through them had to go through the same area, and it was causing a huge backup, and that was very annoying. But that was more, I think, logistics.
Yeah,
a problem with logistics than it was the cosplayers.
More than a cosplayer problem.
Yeah.
And I think if you can make a living, not even a living, if you can make something great out of something that maybe for you started as a hobby, that's awesome. I think it's wonderful that they were able to. If it was a hobby for most people, they just wanted to do something fun, and they got better at it. And as better they got at it, the more people started following them, and then they got their cosplay celebrity status. And I think that's awesome. Good for them. I have nothing against the cosplay celebrities. I wish the best for them. I'm not going to personally go pay for anything for that. But if they were to do a panel on how to make LED wings, I would definitely go to one. Because I've seen those online, and dear God, those are amazing. Some of these cosplayers, I think they legitimately stepped off of the screen of whatever it was they were watching, and there they are, real, and it's great. And I could never do anything like that. Maybe if I had more money and time to dedicate to it, but I don't. They do, and they made that, and I think that's awesome for them.
Joe, I'm curious to know what your feelings are.
The complete opposite.
I'm very conflicted because, really that's all of our dreams, to take a hobby that we love doing, that we don't mind doing every day, and to be able to make a living out of it. If I could find a way to make money playing video games every day, fuck yeah, I'm all over that shit.
Would you set up a stall at the expo?
No. No, I wouldn't. Because
ultimately,
it doesn't fucking do anything for anybody. It's a form of entertainment. And unless I'm entertaining you, I don't deserve to get paid. That's the thing. And, it's fine. Hold on. It's fine. They want to have their booths. They want to have signings. Fine. I'm not going to get them to sign anything. I don't give a fuck. But what they're doing is, all right, so they have these posters that they usually sell and stuff, and pictures, whatever the hell else. And, it's really nothing different than, pinning up a poster of a model. on your wall, because that's essentially what they are. They're models. They're models in costume, really, and that's it. But the thing is, what really pissed me off about cosplay celebrities is that in the beginning, before it really got really, really huge, I followed a few on social media because they were posting tutorials. They were saying, hey, I'm putting this together. This is how I'm doing this. This is how I'm doing that. And I was like, oh, cool. I can learn some stuff from these people. Great. And then they'll show up at conventions. You go see them, you talk to them, and that's all good. But now I feel like it's become more of just a modeling, money-hungry cash grab is all it's become, because now it's just, the majority of celebrity cosplayers are female. I think that's a fair assessment. And it's more about, how much of my tits can I show before I get arrested?
According to the top that I am making, quite a bit.
But yours isn't. See, this is where the conflict comes in, because it's like, you're right, but I can't quite articulate what I'm trying to say. Let
me level this out for you. On a very basic, primal level, as human beings, human nature, there's not much to human nature.
No.
The one thing that we have, and this is everyone, whether you want to admit it or not, or if you show it more than others, we want to be recognized. We want to be recognized for our accomplishments. We want to be recognized for our efforts. We want to be recognized for just being people. That's why people want to be famous to begin with, is because they just want to be known by other people. We want recognition. So let's widen the scope a little bit, or actually narrow the scope in a little bit more. And you have, say, cosplayers. So you have the average cosplayer, and you can't tell me that when someone says, hey, you that costume looks really good, that you don't feel really great and you crave more.
Oh, totally. Absolutely.
For sure. Now,
yeah.
The other thing is we want to be comfortable, and at the end of the day, that comes down to money. We're all innately money hungry in some way, shape, or form. So you can kill two birds with one stone. If you're good at making costumes, and you're good at looking good because you can fill them out with your boobs, or otherwise, maybe you can get a little David Bowie action and a couple socks down there, and you look good doing it. People are paying attention to you. So paying attention to you in general, it makes you feel good. You're kind of like a rock star. Yeah. It because your body to release endorphins makes you euphoric. It's great. And then they start to recognize you also not just for being a good-looking individual, but for the work that you put into these things. So naturally, the endorphins go more, and endorphins are a really powerful drug. You do what makes you feel good. So these people who are just following their basic human instincts are saying, well, it makes me... I really enjoy making these costumes, and people pay attention to me for doing it. Great. That's one thing. But even more people are going to pay attention to me if I can sort of leverage the other aspects and really play to the other markets out there for attention. And what more do you get attention for than boobs, right? So that's why a lot of I'm not going to generalize and say that's why a lot of cosplayers do it, but deep down, subconsciously, on a very granular level at the back of your mind, where you hunt and gather food and you bark at the moon, that's where it kind of stems from. You're going to get recognition. You like doing it. Why not get recognition for what you like doing? Mm-hmm. And, I'm just as guilty as anyone else. I love making podcasts, and if I could find a way to quit my job and podcast for a living, I would do it. And you know what else? I want to be fucking famous for podcasting. I want people to recognize me. I know lots of different podcasts where people are famous podcasters. That'd be friggin' amazing. And when I really sit down and try to psychoanalyze why I want that, that's what comes up, is that, as people, we're all just humans. We want to be recognized, and we want to be recognized. We might as well do it for what we like. And there you go. That's.
And that being said, too, I mean, you made an earlier comment, Joe, that you shouldn't get paid unless you're being entertaining. We're about to go to Fan Expo and pay people to get an autograph from them while they're not entertaining us whatsoever. They're just there at the time.
They're celebs.
they're just celebrities doing the thing that they got famous for. But we're still paying them money to do it. Why is theirs more legitimate for them to get money than it is for the cosplayers to get money when they're starting out on a scale with probably no backers? They don't have a manager, they don't have an agent, they don't have someone negotiating their salaries for this.
I think
they're
negative
probably
connotation comes from the fact that
you know?
they're doing it themselves from the ground up.
Yeah. I mean, if you see artists who are first starting out, they're going to pimp themselves out all the time, every chance they can get, for free or not, so that they can get their name out there. How else do you continue your career? What if some of these people, even if they didn't want to do anything else aside from cosplay, and that's all they wanted to do, that's not a bad thing.
I guess it really stems from me being salty about, they used to be helpful and they used to post tutorials about how to do stuff, and there are still a few that do. Marcel, you mentioned Yaya Han. She has a fabric line out in Joanne's Fabric. She puts out patterns for different costumes and stuff, and that's cool. That's great. That's more of what I'd want to see from them. It's more that it's just become more of a modeling thing than anything else. They stop posting how-tos. They stop posting, how they do things.
Yeah, it stops being a craft and starts being attention whoring.
Yeah.
But
and
that becomes with any. I think that comes down to person, not just the cosplay celebrities. I mean, there's some people out there who are just going to be that way, no matter what.
With great power comes great responsibility. I think it's really a case of different strokes for different people, right? I don't find a value in. I don't necessarily find a value in paying to be in a picture with a cosplayer. Just because I don't why I don't know. Yeah. I guess it really is no different than a actress, whatever. But the reason why I'm paying to take a picture or get their autograph is because they've touched my life in some way, shape, or form. So maybe that's a cosplay celebrity has done that for you. That's cool. But I mean, you know what?
Maybe you just think they're awesome.
Joe, I get how you feel. I feel exactly the same way about people who post gym selfies and talk about how much working out they do on social media.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we've talked about this before.
Yeah. And it's very conflicting. I 100% support them. I just hate seeing it. I really do. And it's nothing against them. I'm not jealous or something. I don't like
need
it
to see
because
8 million pictures of it.
It's not even just seeing it. I mean, I could see 8 million pictures, but it's the connotations behind it, and that's a different podcast.
Yeah. Well, that'll be our worst podcast.
Oh man, that's the podcast that loses us, the precious few listeners we actually have.
The 8 subscribers on our YouTube channel right now.
Hey, those 8 subscribers are getting their subscribe button click worth here. This was a rich, full debate of many things.
I am honestly surprised this went as long as it did because
you two got distracted talking about Tim Hortons at the beginning of this.
That was relevant. Podcast. That's relevant.
How is that relevant to Fan Expo?
Fan Expo is in Canada, and you're Americans coming.
We're going to Toronto,
and you love Tim Hortons.
He knows I love Tim Hortons.
He loves Tim Hortons. I do not. I do not care for it whatsoever.
Why? Do you drink coffee ever?
Yes. I drink coffee all the time, and my coffee comes from New Orleans, and it's the best coffee. Thank you very much.
I don't know about that.
Have you been to New Orleans? No, you have not. You should come with us one year.
But the coffee is what I'm talking
Delicious.
about.
And you should get some. They sell it online. They'll ship it to Canada.
Snap. All right.
So there you go.
I think Tim Hortons was relevant. We'll agree to disagree as you and I typically do on these podcasts.
Yeah, somebody has to be the one who disagrees.
We're good friends, and
we're very good friends.
I think that people who don't know us probably think we hate each other, but we're very good friends, and we've been so for a very long time, and we just have very different opinions, and this is our way of too long. How old was I when I met you? I feel like I was 16 years old. I believe it was around.
I was 14.
It was 15 years ago. I remember it.
No.
All right. So, final thoughts about cons, conventions, going to them.
I'm going to meet Batman, and I'm so ridiculously excited right now. I cannot wait. It's in 3 more days. I am freaking out.
I love the fact that they exist. I love what they stand for. I love that it gives people the opportunity to get up close and learn more about their favorite things. Myself personally, I don't like big crowds. Don't like to be in them. I can perform in front of them, but I don't like being in them. I probably personally don't find a lot of value in meeting celebrities. But again, I love what they are and what people get out of them, and the culture is fantastic. I love it. Go.
I'm with Marcel on that 100%. I can tolerate crowds for a little while. Doesn't bother me. I mean, I don't think I could go to like San Diego Comic-Con anymore just because it has gotten just way out of hand. But I do love the fact that convention going and all of this, comic book, movie, video gaming, all this stuff has made its way into pop culture and has opened it up to a completely new generation of people, and has just it's like steamrolling, man. It's just gaining more and more traction as you go along, and it's great. And it's awesome that it brings people together. It brings a lot of like-minded people together, people who may not have what's the word I'm looking for, conversed by any other means. You find stuff that you like together, whether you knew it or not, and you just run with it, and it just kind of becomes its own thing. So it's a great thing for everyone. Yes.
Amen.
I agree.
To conclude, yes. All right, I think that'll do it for us. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/Fantastic Reviews Podcast. Follow us on Twitter. We are Fantastic Podcast without the A at the end because Twitter did not let me have that many characters in the handle. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like this video. If you like what we're talking about, please leave some comments. We would love to include some fan comments in future podcasts. So if you leave one, we're probably going to put it in because right now we're not getting a lot on these videos, people. We need you to pick it up.
If you also think Joe is wrong, please tell me how right I am in the comments below.
There's not going to be any comments.
There might be a comment.
I'm going to
He upset cosplay celebrities. They have a wide internet following.
I'm going to get some hate, and that's fine because that's what makes this fandom great. we can agree, we can disagree, but in the end, we're all still going to the damn convention.
And we're all going to go see the new Batman movie.
I'm not going to go see the new Batman movie.
Oh, that's a podcast for another time, people.
All right, I won't go into it.
All right. Well, thanks for listening.
Okay, bye.
And we will see you next time.
Bye, Internet.
Farewell.